You're scrolling through TikTok. A girl in a mini skirt and furry moon boots is dancing in front of a mirror. You scroll again. Now it's a guy reading about a must-have Stanley Cup, followed by someone else doing a $500 Shein haul. Before you know it, you're on a shopping site, adding the same items to your cart. You don't even pause to ask yourself, do I actually want this, or am I just trying to keep up? Hi, I'm Lucia Morrow, and today we're going to talk about something that seems harmless, but actually has a deep impact, microtrends, and why it's time we stop chasing them. I used to chase every trend I saw online, Y2K, cottagecore, clean girl, about the outfits, the accessories, the makeup, but somewhere along the way, I realized that I was constantly spending money, constantly chasing approval, and constantly unsatisfied. I was spending money to be on trend, but the satisfaction was always temporary and the cycle never ended. And eventually I realized something. I wasn't making choices, I was just reacting. I started researching the environmental impact of fast fashion and was shocked to learn how much pollution it creates, especially from brands I was buying from. That opened my eyes to the bigger consequences of these trends. I've also spent the last few years in college exploring sustainability and consumer psychology in my sociology classes, which helped me understand how trends manipulate us and what we can do to resist that pressure. So, what exactly are microtrends? Microtrends are fast-moving fashion or lifestyle trends that spike in popularity for a short time, sometimes just a few weeks, usually because of viral social media content. Unlike traditional fast fashion cycles, which used to span years or seasons, today's trends rise and fall before you've even worn the item twice. Let's go back to 2021. Remember the viral TikTok leggings that everyone had? They were everywhere for maybe 3 months. Then came flared yoga pants, then oversized jorts. Microtrends move fast, and they move you. To click, to buy, to keep up. Let's talk about the first major issue, waste and overconsumption. According to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the equivalent of one garbage truck full of textiles are burned or landfilled every second. That's over 92 million tons of clothing waste each year globally. And most of it comes from the fast fashion industry, built to feed microtrends. We're talking clothes made from synthetic fabrics that don't biodegrade, manufactured as cheaply and quickly as possible, only to be discarded once the new core trend arrives. And it's not slowing down. In fact, a report from McKinsey and Company found that clothing production doubled between 2000 and 2014, while the number of times a garment is worn before being thrown away dropped by 36%. It's not just bad for landfills. The fashion industry also contributes 10% of global carbon emissions, more than all international flights and maritime shipping combined. So every time we chase a trend, we add to a system that's overproducing and overpopulating for things we may only wear once. Second, microtrends chip away at our sense of identity. When we blindly follow what's trending, we're not choosing our style, we're copying someone else's. We end up expressing what the algorithm wants, not who we are. In 2022, the Fashion Retail Academy surveyed young adults and found that over 60% of Gen Z respondents admitted to buying clothes just to post them once on social media. That's not just a stat, it's a signal. A 2022 study in the Journal of Consumer Behavior found that influencer-driven content significantly increased impulse buying, often pushing consumers to purchase items that don't actually reflect their actual taste. Let that sink in. An entire generation building their wardrobes for Instagram photos, not real life. It's exhausting, it's expensive, and it's empty. Fashion should be about expressing who you are, not keeping up with a 15-second video that would be irrelevant in 2 weeks. And the third problem, exploitation. Microtrends don't just impact your wallet or the planet, they also rely on cheap, unethical labor to keep our prices low and turnover fast. Take Shein, one of the most popular fast fashion retailers among Gen Z. A 2022 investigation of Channel 4 News found that Shein workers in China were earning as little as 3 cents per garment, working 75-hour weeks with only 1 day off per month. And that $5 top that you tossed in your cart without thinking, someone made that in conditions you wouldn't wish on anyone. When we participate in microtrends, we unintentionally support an industry that thrives on exploitation. The good news, we can stop this. We don't have to give up fashion. We just need to change how we engage with it. And here's how. We can 1. Buy with intention. Before you click, ask, would I want this if it wasn't trending? Does this match my actual taste? We can 2. Invest in timeless pieces. It's better to have 10 things you love and wear often than 50 things you wear once. A great pair of jeans, a black coat, a white tee. These pieces never go out of style. We can also thrift or swap. According to ThredUp's 2023 resale report, the secondhand market is expected to double by 2027. Buying secondhand is more affordable and sustainable. It helps you develop a more personal style. And you can start to follow your taste, not the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't know you. It knows engagement. Your style should reflect you and not your feed. Now, you might be thinking, but trends are fun. Or, I'm still trying to figure out my style. And I get that. Trends can be exciting, but they can also be addictive. They make you feel like you're never enough, unless you're buying something new constantly. And you can figure out your style without falling into that cycle. Start with the basics. Thrift, experiment, take your time. Building your wardrobe should be a journey, not a race to keep up. Because in the end, style isn't about fitting in. It's about standing out in a way that's real. Let's imagine what your life could look like without microtrends. First, in our closet. Instead of overflowing with impulse buys, it's filled with pieces you truly love, items that are versatile, flattering, and you. Second, in your mindset. You're not anxious about staying current. You're confident. You know what works for you. You're not dressing for strangers online. You're dressing for yourself. And third, in our world. If everyone reduced their fashion consumption by just 10%, we could prevent millions of garments from ending up in landfills each year. We could reduce the need for unethical labor, and we could return fashion to what it was meant to be, creative, expressive, and joyful. Let's review. When we stop chasing microtrends, we help ourselves by becoming more intentional, more confident, and more free. We help our planet by reducing waste and pollution, and we help others by refusing to support exploitive systems. So, here's what you can do. You can start by unfollowing trend-driven influencers. Make space for voices that promote creativity, sustainability, and slow fashion. Unsubscribe from fast fashion newsletters. Remove the temptation to impulse shop. Do the 30 wear test. Ask yourself, will I wear this at least 30 times? If not, pass. Join or host a clothing swap. Share, trade, and repurpose. These steps don't mean giving up fashion. They mean taking back control. Now, let me take you back to that scroll session I described in the beginning. That impulse to buy, that fleeting excitement. That endless cycle doesn't have to define you. You can pause. You can choose differently. And when you do, you're not just rejecting a trend. You're choosing authenticity, sustainability, and self-respect. So, next time a video tells you that you need $100 UGG platforms, ask yourself, do I actually want this, or am I just trying to keep up? The choice is yours. Thank you.